Hello, everybody. My name is Juniper Bloom Mystique. What is up, light seers and game changers, my soul warriors? For those of you who can see me and hear me, trust that you can absolutely see and hear the light. I'm not your usual star seer, light worker, person who does missing person cases or anything like that. I am your ascension master. I am the one who brought about the ascension for the whole entire collective soul. I've done that over a 3-year period of time. In 2019, I had a Kundalini awakening. Then all of these things started happening to me and through me, and included things like activating pyramids, freeing Jesus's soul. I got to be the one to unite Jesus and Mary Magdalene, which was the return of Christ. Now, the reason I do the missing persons and unsolved cases is because it came to me and through me during my awakening. Gannon Stauk was the very first case that I did that with, where all of a sudden I can just see what happened to them. I do process their deaths. When we do pass on, we go through a heart review. That is also part of the ascension. At this time, we go through heart reviews. We are clearing any muck out of the collective soul that we can. And that is why I shine light into the darkness. So that is my purpose of these cases. I like to shine light into the darkness. Okay. And I even have a theme song you'll hear from time to time that I wrote myself. And it's shining light into the darkness. Can you show me the way? So welcome to my Shining Light in the Darkness series. This one is on Aaron Carter. Some of you are well aware of who Aaron Carter is. For those who are not, I'll give a little insight into who he is, what he did, and maybe what happened to him. So I like to kind of channel and see what happened. So for this one, his mom is kind of bringing about an investigation, and we'll kind of get into that a little bit. And so that's why I'm doing this video. I really wanted to know what happened to him. And I think it's pretty awesome what he did. So he brought a message that is unlike any other I've ever seen. And I will give it to you guys how I received it. And I will let you decipher it on your own. Now, I will ask of you to put in the comments what you think his message means. Okay, because he answers the question of what happened to me, but in a different way. And so I want you guys to kind of give your opinions on what he thinks, because this is not from me, this is from him. This does not include my opinion, okay, or anything like that. So welcome. This video is on Aaron Carter, also known as Aaron Charles Carter, who was born on December 7th, 1987. And he passed away on November 5th, 2022. He was an American singer and rapper. He came to fame as a teen pop singer in the late 1990s, establishing himself as a star among preteen and teenage audiences during the first years of the 21st century. He has 4 studio albums. He began performing at age 7 after the formation of his brother Nick's group, the Backstreet Boys. So some of you know Nick Carter, who was also in the Backstreet Boys and was very famous as well. And he released his self-titled debut album in '97 at age 9. So Aaron Carter's first album release was at age 9, very young. He sold 1 million copies worldwide. Very young to be thrust into the limelight. His second album, Aaron's Party, Come and Get It, in 2000, sold 3 million copies in the United States, and Carter began making guest appearances on Nickelodeon and touring with the Backstreet Boys shortly after the record's release. His next album, Oh Aaron, also went platinum in 2022. He released what would be his last studio album in over 15 years, which was called Another Earthquake, followed by his 2003 Most Requested Hits collection. So, well, that was in 2002. Sorry, I don't know if I read that wrong. I was thinking I said 2022. So in 2002, he released what would be his last studio album in over 15 years, followed by the 2003 Most Requested Hits collection. Okay. He appeared on Dancing with the Stars and in the Broadway musical Sussicle and the off-Broadway musical The Fantastics, and made several one-off performances. Okay, so he did little things here and there. Something happened, though, obviously. He went from these albums and really producing to kind of falling off with that, didn't he? He released a single in 2014 featuring rapper Pat Solo, Ooh Wee, and then Fool's Gold in 2016, and then one titled Love in 2017. So a couple titled Love, right? And then Blacklisted was released 2 days after his death. So he had a sixth and final album called Blacklisted, which was released 2 days after his death. Okay. So that's what was happening there and what kind of was playing out as he died. So this is a story. This is not what I got from him yet. I'll give you that in the end. So again, I channel spirit. That's what I do. I channel whatever they want me to see and know and bring to you guys. Okay. Now Aaron came through himself. He is very much so on the other side. And he brought in his true fashion what happened to him. I think it's very cool. So I will read it to you. He is quite an artist. He is an artist. He is a poet. He's a songwriter. And that's how he came off. That's how he wants to be remembered. He was not fake. Okay. And that's what he's saying. I was not fake. I was not conditioned to be a certain way. I struggled with that. And that's what he says. He really did have true artistry within him. Okay. And he wants people to know that. Okay. His parents were Jane Elizabeth and Robert Gene Carter, who ran a retirement home. He had an older brother, Nick, and member of the Backstreet Boys, and 3 sisters. He has a twin named Angel, who is a model, Bobby Jean, and Leslie. Oh, I didn't know he had a twin model. Did you guys see? I didn't know all this. So that's pretty awesome. So that's getting to know him a little bit, what he did in life. Career 97 to 99, music beginnings and self-titled debut album, 2000 to 2001, Aaron's Party, 2002 to 2008. So he was, always going and always doing stuff and always performing and always bringing things about. And honestly, I feel like he felt like he was, in the shadow of his brother. And that is the energy that I'm pulling up here, is I was always in the shadow of my brother. Could never get good enough, could never do good enough, could never be like him, kind of a thing. And I feel like that was part of his shadow. It's like I had to be in the shadow of my brother. So I was always trying to prove myself as an artist. I was always trying to prove my worth in this business because of that. And I feel like that was part of his plight, right? He had a little bit of a plight, like I've got to prove myself. I have to make sure everybody knows who I am, sees who I am, and understands that I am worthy. I am worthy of good things, right? So I just want to see if there's some good pictures we can have of him. So this was before he was all tatted up, must have still been pretty young, because nowadays he had tattoos all over his face and everything, right? So we'll see if we can't find that. For you guys to see. Oh yeah, so we got tons of pics to kind of look at, just to kind of reminisce on Aaron Carter, who he was, right? Like he was a very much so, and he has a twin sister. It's amazing, right? No, twins are very much so connected. So I would be curious to see if she get dreams about what happened to him and things. Look at that. Honestly, not a bad looking guy right there. I'll take the green hair and the neck tat. I'm just saying. Pretty good looking guy he was, right? But you could tell he definitely had some demons to work with. He was definitely battling some things, right? I feel like for him, the biggest thing was always trying to prove himself. He just always has this weight. Like, I needed to prove myself. I needed to prove my worth. I needed to prove that I was just as good as the next one, if not better. It's always like I couldn't get my word out there correctly. I couldn't show people the true artist that I was because of this backstory, because of this who his brother was, and this boy band thing, and this whole kind of like the way he started out his career. I feel like he almost regrets it, which kind of does make sense from what he wrote. But I'm tuning into his energies now, and I feel like he kind of just regretted it. He kind of regretted starting it out some way, because inside he was a true rapper. He was an absolute rapper and an artist, like a poet, and he wanted to be a rapper. He wanted to be like Eminem. He wanted to be a rapper. And I feel like in some ways he was like pushed, like due to the boy band thing, right? Due to his brother's footsteps, all of those kinds of things. And I feel like that was his struggle. Like you could tell here he was definitely doing drugs. He was just struggling. He was struggling. He was trying to escape. He felt like he was always second best. He could never rise to what he was inside because he was always in somebody's shadow. Like there was always these expectations on him to be something else. Now, when he was young, he was good with that. But as he got older, I feel like he had regrets with that. Okay. Big time. And I can see that in his face. But not only that, I can hear it over my shoulder. Okay. Now, as I said, see, as he started getting on, he started getting more and more tattooed. So in his final moments, I guess he was on TikTok a lot, and he did a lot of videos, and he would talk a lot about things were coming. Like I think he had talked about he knew he was going to die. There is something to that. Okay. I did ask him what happened to him because his mom believes he was murdered. Okay. So they released pictures of his death, his final moments. And it was like a bathtub scene. It was kind of gruesome and green. And he could have been a model himself, I'm telling you, even with the green hair and tats. Very good looking guy. But look at that. Damn. But that's a good depiction of his sorrow that he felt inside. Okay. So that is truly a good depiction of the sorrow that he felt, the suffering that he was doing in silence. He truly was. And he would talk to his fans about that sometimes. But we all know how people are. They're very judgmental, right? And so his demeanor is just, he had some regrets. He didn't speak his truth a lot of times. He didn't get to show his true artistry. And that's what he wants people to be left with. So like I said, his mom thinks he was murdered. Okay. I guess it was supposedly a drug overdose or something. I can't remember. Let me see. So nothing came up. There we go. All right. So I wanted to know how they said he died. Okay. So Aaron Carter died after apparently drowning at his Lancaster home Saturday morning. He was 34 years old. Representatives for Carter's family confirming the singer's death with the Associated Press. So that's what they're saying, is that he drowned. Let me see if they did a toxicology report. Died after apparently drowning at his Lancaster home Saturday morning. He was 34. Representatives confirmed. Responded to his home around 11 a.m. after a house sitter called saying she'd found a man in the bathtub, the department said. We were here because this is a high profile case. So Carter's girlfriend, Melanie Martin, was outside the home Saturday trying to convince officers to let her into the house to see him, saying, I've been here the whole time. Weird. Oh, I've been here the whole time. The RV Carter had been using, that's interesting right there, was parked outside the home where deputies confirmed they've been called before to check on the singer's welfare. Some of the social media posts concerned fans enough that they thought he might break his sobriety and harm himself. See? But he always answered the door, say neighbors, until today. A far cry from the early days, said one fan who didn't want to be identified. Interesting. This is very interesting. They didn't success foul play initially, but are investigating and will now a lot more and will know a lot more after they get a report from the coroner. Carter was a pop icon in the early 2000s with hit songs like I Want Candy. Okay, he was in Lizzie McGuire. Oh, a Disney kid. Now we know what happened to him, right? For real though, like I am not trying to offend people, but he came out of the Disney franchise. Some shit happened to you, let me tell you. but that also makes sense to what he wrote. So I haven't read you guys what he wrote yet, what I channeled from him. I'm just curious to see what the coroner said. Did we ever find out what the coroner had said? Death certificate revealed as disturbing details. So I'm just curious. I don't usually research these at all. I channel them first. That's what I do. And so I did that. And he does have a message for everybody. He has the answers. And I want you guys, again, in the comments, if you wouldn't mind, to kind of discuss what you think he meant, because he's an artist. Okay. And that's how he brought what happened to him. It really is. His official death certificate has been revealed. Housekeeper found him in the bathtub. So where was his girlfriend if she was there the whole time? That's what I'd like to know. More details have been revealed in the aftermath. Body of the singer was already been cremated. Oh, geez. His final resting place has not been determined. Official cause of death has not been named. Well, this has been a long time, so why do we not know yet? So he had cans of compressed air. So did he like to do whippets a lot? So it says he had cans of compressed air in his room, as well as prescription drugs. So they were called like the day before, I guess, to do a welfare check on him. Carter turned him away, but he was alive. She again went to check on Carter the next morning when he found his dog going crazy, and then Aaron in the bathtub. His body allegedly smelled of decomposition. So a father, that came up in his thing too. He was a father, right? Let's see. There was something going on with his girlfriend too. Look at that poor guy. Oh, so there was his son right there. Oh, so that boy was very important to him. So his fiance Melanie Martin and his son Prince, who turns 1 at the end of the November. So there's something. So I told you that couple, something about his girlfriend. He didn't really care for her too much. So to regain custody of his child, he had filed for a restraining order against Martin. In February, the couple had a toxic on and off again relationship, and their son was apparently removed from their home by authorities nearly a year ago. The infant is said to have been living with Martin's mother since. Carter's old brother Nick of the Backstreet Boys, who paid tribute to the late star on stage after his passing, said addiction and mental illness are to blame for his death. Fans are still awaiting the results of Aaron's autopsy report. If you or someone you know need help, so it's not saying they should have had that released by now, don't you think? Do you guys know where his autopsy report is? I'm just kind of curious. So he was cremated immediately. Here, this was from 4 months ago. Let's see what it has to say before I read you what he gave me. Okay. Well, I guess they still have not released the autopsy report as of yet that I can see. But I can tell you what he gave me. Okay. So he is an artist, and the way he put this out there is in pure artist form. Okay. I'm going to leave it off on a really good image of his. One that he tells me to stop on. The one with his son. Where did I see that one? Okay. He wants a picture of him and his son. Prince. Here we go. There. That's what he wants. That's his heart. Okay. That right there. That is his heart. That is his, and I'm getting chills as I said that, his pride and joy. He wanted very much so to get better every day for that baby. And honestly, I feel like he was miserable in the relationship. He wanted out of that, and he wanted his son. Okay. That is one thing that he wants me to tell you. Now I am going to read what I channeled from Aaron Carter for all of you. I'm going to see if I can't. Kind of wanted to type it out for you guys at the same time, but that is okay. So you have the whiteboard now. Okay, let me see if I can't. All right. Kind of have it to where you can see what I'm typing and see him and his baby a little bit. That's what I want. It's not quite doing what I wanted. Here, bear with me. Because he's an artist, I want to do him justice. Okay. It's a beautiful soul. All right. So this is what Aaron Carter brought through when I channeled him to see what happened to him so that I can shine light into some darkness. Now, most of you know I'm the Ascension Master. I brought about the Ascension. I'm always curious to see who's ascending and who's not, because it is Judgment Day. Okay. And that's part of his message. It really was. All right. So I would love for you guys to give me comments about what you think he means, because he delivered it in artist form. And for some of his fans, if this reaches some of his fans, I would love to know what you think. So he says, owed a debt. Owed a debt. This is what came through. Aaron Carter channeled. Okay. Aaron Carter owed a debt. That's the first thing he said. I owed a debt. I was trapped in fear. No one knew. Here's what he said. I owed a debt. I was trapped in fear. No one knew. I couldn't pay. Did not want to pay. Never planned on paying. Do you hear that? I'm going to read that again. This is very important. He said, I owed a debt. I was trapped in fear. No one knew I couldn't pay, didn't want to pay, never planned on paying. crap, there went the whiteboard. Okay. I don't know what you can see, but hopefully you can see at least what I'm typing. So he owed a debt. He was trapped in fear. He didn't put no one knew. I threw that in this time because that is the energy I'm feeling, that no one knew. I couldn't pay, did not want to pay, and never planned on paying. Then he said, how weird. I don't know, you guys, some of this stuff. All right. And then he said, in my 20s, there was a girl. In my 20s, there was a girl. To impress her. I did stupid things. Signed a contract. I signed a contract in my 20s for fame and money. So that I could impress. Remember I talked about how he felt like he was always in that shadow? That's kind of what's stepping out here. So in his 20s, there was a girl, and to impress her, he did stupid things. Signed a contract for fame and money so that he could impress. If I said no, I would not have been recognized. Right then. And I would not have had the girl. So I wanted to type this for you because this is what he wrote. Okay, and he is a poet. And I know I'm reading it and writing it, so I'm going to read it again when I'm done. And I want you guys to tell me what your thoughts were on what happened to him. Okay. So from Aaron Carter, I owed a debt, trapped in fear. I couldn't pay, did not want to pay, never planned on paying. I'm going to take this part out because it won't even let me, whatever. Oh my gosh, as soon as you like finish typing, you get a whole new text box. So stupid. All right. All right. Never planned on paying. In my 20s, there was a girl. To impress her, I did stupid things, signed a contract for fame and money so that I could impress. If I said no, I would not have been recognized right then, and I would not have had the girl. Then he says this, my mom is right. There was a debt. One I could not uphold. They probably may not take her seriously, is what he says. As there is so much to bring to the light. It's not exact. It's not exact what or who she thinks it is. But she will be wishing she didn't ask. To know. who, why, or for what it was. So my mom is right. There was a debt, one I could not uphold. They probably may not take her seriously, as there is so much to bring to the light. It is not exact what or who she thinks it is, but she will be wishing she did not ask to know who, why, or for what it was. In the end, is it murder? Yes, but also of my own hands and doing. I owed my side of a contract. I refused to give. I was denied access of the ability to live. I have taken on many things, but this I could not give up. My chance at being a father. Once again, my chance at freedom. Can now begin. Then he said, I am in the light of the one. Then he also said one more thing. Do not believe all that you hear. And that is what he had to say. Okay. I'm going to read it one more time, my friends, because Aaron Carter is an artist, and I don't want to do this injustice. His son is what he loved the most, and that was his focus. So how he died, this is what he says. I owed a debt, trapped in fear. I couldn't pay. I did not want to pay, never planned on paying. In my 20s, there was a girl. To impress her, I did stupid things, signed a contract for fame and money so that I could impress. If I said no, I would not have been recognized right then, and I would not have had the girl. My mom is right. There was a debt, one I could not uphold. They probably may not take her seriously, as there is so much to bring to the light. It is not exact what or who she thinks it is, but she will be wishing she did not ask to know who, why, or for what it was. In the end, is it murder? Yes, but also of my own hand and doing. I owed my side of a contract. I refused to give. I was denied access of the ability to live. I have taken on many things, but this I could not give up. My chance at being a father, once again, my chance at freedom can now begin. I am in the light of the one. Do not believe all that you hear. Wow. That was awesome. That is what he says happened to him. So I asked you guys, what are your opinions on that? He says, is it murder? Yes, but is of his own hands and doing. He owed his side of a contract he refused to give, and he was denied access of the ability to live. I owed my side of a contract I refused to give, and I was denied access of the ability to live. I have taken on many things, but this I could not give up. My chance at being a father, once again, my chance at freedom can now begin. I want to cry. It was very beautiful. And to Aaron Carter, he was a poet, he was an artist, he was a songwriter, he was a rapper through and through. He had a lot to give and a lot to say, but some things people couldn't see through. Make sure you pay attention to the uniqueness of our loved ones. That's from Aaron. Make sure you pay attention to the uniqueness of our loved ones. We're all different and we're meant to be. Fame and money is not everything, but love is completely. So much love to all of you. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Shining Light into the Darkness and what happened to Aaron Carter. I hope it helps answer some questions. It is what he wanted to give out. I hope for him, I did justice in what he wanted to convey. So much love to all of you, and I will see you next time.